General Langley, commander of the US Africa Force based in Stuttgart, Germany. I am Professor Franklin Nyamsi, Wa Cameroon, Wa Africa, President of the African Freedom Institute, based in Bamako, Mali. I'm addressing you today about your intervention and the words you've used in front of an official American commission concerning Burkina Faso and Africa. You have publicly affirmed that the Burkina Faso's gold is only used for the protection of the military and political leadership of the country, directed by His Excellency the Faso President, Captain Ibrahim Traore. So I would like to ask you a few questions before my conclusions about your speech in front of your official American Commission of Parliamentarians. Question one is, can you tell us, General Michael Langley, why is there an African use command force? Is Africa belonging to the United States of America? Is Africa a territory of the United States of America, so that you are leading a force that is supposed to operate on our native continent? Is Africa one of the states of the United States of Africa? The answer to these questions is evident. It is no. Africa has never belonged to America. Africa has never belonged to the United States of America. And you don't have the right to command a force on the African soil. Now, let us go to the next series of questions. General Michael Langley, as an American officer, do you have any right on African gold reserves? Are African gold reserves the property of the United States of America? When there are some gold, diamonds, oil, or any other natural resources inside the American ground, do we African countries, African states, have any right to say what you have to do with your oil, with your gold, with your natural resources in the United States of America? One more time for this second series of questions. The answer is clear. We African people, we African states, African nations, or African government have never had any kind of right to say a word about the use of natural resources by the United States of America. So how dare you, General Michael Langley, have a word on the use of our natural resources in Africa? Is Africa the property of the United States of America? How dare you judge an African leader about the way he uses of the natural resources of his country, while African leaders have no right to judge the way you use natural resources in the United States of America? General Langley, after those two series of questions and evident answers given to those questions, let me tell you now, what is the resolution of all African activists, Pan-Africanists, fighting against despotism, colonialism, neocolonialism, and imperialism for centuries now in Africa and through the world. We consider that your speech in front of the official American Commission against Burkina Faso leader, His Excellency President Ibrahim Traore, we consider that your speech and your accusations against Burkina Faso leader are clearly threats against African security, threats against African Pan-Africanist revolutionary leadership, because you are in charge of maintaining the American military presence on the African soil so that your companies will continue to loot African natural resources like it has been done for many years now. We consider that this is the continuation of the imperialist policy of the United States of America against African people for a long time now. Not only because America has been built with the African blood, and so you are one of the inheritors of that very terrible history. But because, in fact, we know that many of African leaders who have been killed through the preceding decades were killed with the contribution of American secret services. And it is clear, for example, that Patrice Emery Lumumba in the Congo was killed with the involvement of the CIA. We know that in Burkina Faso, the death of Thomas Sankara on October 15th, 1987, was done with the involvement of the American services. We know that many African leaders have been assassinated, like Gaddafi, with the direct involvement of the NATO and so of American service. So let it be made clear. African people denounce and condemn your words, your threats against the African Burkina Faso's leadership. African opinion is aware that you, American soldiers, American government, American secret services, American defense forces are involved in supporting terrorist groups which are still attacking, killing, organizing mass destruction, deportations through our native continent. So, our decision is very clear, is that we are asking to all African countries, having accepted some American military bases, to ask them to move on and to go back to America. We need no more an American soldier on African soil. There is no African soldier on American soil. America is not under military occupation of African armies, so we don't want to see and use Africa Command again. And we will mobilize, we will argue, we will demonstrate, we will help all African government to remove all American troops from the African soil. So mote it be. And this is our right, and this is fair, this is equity. This is true international cooperation in mutual due respect. This is the message in English. I will then publish the same message in the French version. Thank you everywhere through the world for sharing. And please give this video to General Michael Langley, the use Marine Corps commander. Tell him we want no more any American soldier on the African soil. And we are working for the end of this military occupation. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you. To help African struggle for sovereignty, African struggle for peace, for prosperity, African struggle for true dignity. I am Professor Franklin Nyamsi wa Cameroon wa Africa, President of the African Freedom Institute, based in Bamako, Mali. Full support to the sovereign African leaders, full support to the Pan-Africanist struggle. We shall fulfill the challenge.